Hi, welcome to AP Computer Science. Today we're going to start Unit 1. Our goal this unit is to set the foundation for all the Java code you'll learn the rest of the year. You'll actually be writing your very first Java program. Now before we get started, I want to think a little bit about what we do when we program and write code. So let's pretend for a minute. You're going to go visit a friend and you need to get directions to their house. As you and your friend talk on the phone about how to get there, your friend is going to ask you certain questions. How far away are you? What time of the day will you be coming? How are you going to travel? By car, by plane, by train? All of those different questions and answers back and forth will determine the directions your friends give you. Now, when we give instructions to a computer, we're not talking back and forth like you were with your friend over the phone. We're typing in commands. So, certain information shows up on a monitor, and we answer the question by typing into the keyboard. The directions that we give are called commands in programming. So when we give directions to a computer, it's just like the directions that your friend gave you to get to the house. The order is going to make a difference, and we want to be as specific as possible. Give a wrong mileage, and someone could end up in completely the wrong place. The same thing happens with computers. If we're not exact in our commands that we give the computer, you don't get the correct result. So today we're going to start with outputting and displaying information on the monitor. Over the next few lessons, we'll learn to actually ask questions and have the user respond to what we type on the screen. So here's our first Java program. Before we start talking about what all the different pieces here are doing, I want to give you some quick directions. For each lesson that we'll be doing, there's a template file in the course. My expectation is that you try to do the code along with me. The fact is, the only way to learn how to program is to actually program. You can't just sit here and watch the videos and nod along and expect to actually know anything by the end of the course. So throughout the lessons, there'll be times where I stop and I give you a quick program to try. My expectation is that you actually stop the video and try the code. Don't worry, we'll go over the solution together to make sure you got the right answer. And again, the only way you're going to learn Java is to actually spend a lot of time programming in Java. All right, so let's go ahead and look at our first problem. Now there's a lot of stuff on the screen here, but the only thing that really matters is this line right here, system.out.print hello world. Now, you'll notice up top we start with some import statements. Later in the course we'll talk about why those are there, but for right now they're just setup things to make your program work. You also have this thing called a class. That's the container for all of our programs. And you'll notice here that actually matches the file name that I'm working in. Those two pieces are going to need to match. Then we get down to public static void main, and again, we'll get to what all that means later. And then this right here. This is the actual direction that's telling the computer what to do. So we're going to go ahead and run our program and see what it does. So Java's a little quirky. It's actually two steps to tell the computer what to do. First, we compile the program. Second, we run it. What compiling does is have Java go through and just check, do I understand all of the commands as they've been typed in? Are there any mistakes, or are there any points where I don't get what you're saying? What'll happen is, down here in the compiler output, it'll pop up some errors. And your job is to fix the errors until Java understands the commands you're giving it. Once everything's fine, then we go ahead and run. So let's watch. And that's what running means. Java just goes through each of the commands we give it and carries out the instructions. Now, you'll notice our screen down here changed again, and the message right here, hello world, is what's showing up right here, hello world. So the command print right here basically takes everything in the parentheses and displays it in the output screen here. Now you'll notice it skipped the quotation marks. Those quotation marks are just showing, hey, everything in between, that's what I want you to show on the screen. So here's the command we were just looking at, system.out.print hello world. The system.out piece is basically just telling Java where to send the information, and print is what's actually telling it what to do. Print means take whatever's in the parentheses and pop it onto the computer monitor. So we told it to say hello world, so it pops hello world into our little output window. And again, notice these quotation marks do not show up down here. Those are what's marking, hey, take these letters and put them on the screen. Now, Java's not actually looking or reading what it says here. Java's basically just taking each letter and copying it over. So H, E, L, L, O, etc. So let's go back to our code real quick. So let's say I misspell world. Okay, so now it says wold. When I go ahead and compile, and when I run, notice down here it says hello world. Everything that's in the quotes here, Java just picks it up literally the way it's typed. All right, let's fix my typing there. Recompile and run. So it's not actually reading what's in here. Again, it's just copying those letters to the screen for us. So when we ran our program, we saw that it's actually a two-step process. First, we compile, and that's where Java's going through and checking for errors. Again, the whole point of that step is that Java's just looking at it and making sure, yes, I understand everything they typed in. Second, we run. That's when Java actually goes through and follows the directions that you gave it. So first we check for errors, then we actually follow the directions. Now, the directions that we're giving it are called commands. It's just a direction that tells a computer what to do. So our very first command of the year is system.out.print. And again, the main point here is print. It's telling the computer, display that information on the computer's monitor. Our goal for most of first semester is to go through and learn a series of commands so that you can give Java directions to solve some pretty complicated problems. Now I'd like you to try it. In that template file, I'd like you to change the program so it now prints, "Welcome to AP Computer Science."